coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson-Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to my games room. Today we're taking a look at Nab It by Hasbro. So look at the report card for Nab It. I give the number of players a B. It plays from 2 to 4 players, so it's I think it's a game that could easily accommodate 2 to 4 players. So really, I mean, that makes for a small group setting, something nice for maybe a daily 5 center or a family game night or something. So nice amount of players with 4, so B. So for learning, I'm going to give the game a B+. As it says right here from the makers of Scrabble, it's very much like a Scrabble game, except here now you're stacking the tiles instead of just going in lines and building on that. So you're still building horizontally, vertically, but you're also now building in the third dimension. You're building up as well as you stack the tiles on top of each other. So it allows for a lot more creativity, also has some good strategy in there, so I think that there is a lot that the kids could be learning from this through their creative play of the game. So for that reason, I give it the B+. For fun, I'm going to give the game a B+. I think this game, to me, is a lot more fun than Scrabble because of the fact that you can stack tiles on top of each other, so you're never going to be blocked out of a word. Oh, you took my spot. And it's all like thick jigsaw puzzle pieces, so they're going to be manipulative, that you can twist and turn them around so you don't have to look at the board upside down or any way, because you can always spin the crossword thing to you at your turn. Again, if you watch my extended video, I'll show you how that works. Another thing I really like about it is in the scoring. Unlike Scrabble, you don't score the points as you go. The scoring is only done at the end of the game, and it's all the score is like for people who have the highest tiles. But so it doesn't have this sort of runaway leader problem. Like I know in Scrabble, like if somebody started getting like way too many points and the other person's way lower, then it's really demoralizing and disheartening to want to even continue and finish the game when you know there's absolutely no chance for you. You're just kind of playing to finish off the game, and it's this way everybody's in it till the end, and to me that makes for a more fun game. Plus the fact, like I said, you can't get blocked out. You can always put tiles on top of you, and there's always options you can do in your turn to score points. So for that reason, I give it the B+. For time, I'm going to give the game an A-. The game will set up really quickly, and it'll strike very quickly. So you'll be able to clean it up, put it back away again, no time at all. Just the only thing would be, would you be able to finish this game within a 40-minute period? And now that's assuming you have 40-minute periods like my school. It's going to be a little bit tricky. I mean, but again, this is one of those kinds of games where you don't have to finish the game completely in order to enjoy it. The kids could play it up to a certain time. You could give them a 5-minute or 10-minute or whatever minute warning, and then at that time they start cleaning up, and they can then score quickly before they start the cleanup. So they could play knowing that they have a certain time limit. You make sure everybody gets the same number of turns, of course, but they could just score it without having played all the tiles at that time. In which case, there's a bonus point for the person who places the last tile. If they end the game early, then all it means is that nobody gets that bonus. So, yeah. So, like I was saying, this is how the game is played with these bags. So every player has their own bag with their own letters. So they just take their bag, start playing. When it's time to clean up, their colors go back in their bag, and you're done. Easy. So A-. For cost, I'm going to give the game a B ? Because I can't. I haven't found this game in any stores. Like I found this one again. I'm a regular thrift store shopper, and I found this one in the thrift store. But if you find this game at a local Walmart, Target, or a thrift store, if you're lucky enough to find one there like I did, then I would recommend getting it. But if you're paying $20 to $30 for this game in your classroom, I think that's worth it, and that's what I think the price range would be for a game like this, which I think would be a B. If it would be nicer if it could accommodate more players, it would make that cost consideration better, but it doesn't. So for that reason, I give it the B with a question mark. Well, let's take it to the table and see how this game is played. So here's a game of Nab It all set up. So you have the 4 colors, and they have their own bags with the puzzle pieces in them. You're going to take out 5 pieces from each bag, and for each of the players. And every player is going to have one of these gray pieces, and this is your bank tile. So you can always just, if you don't want to do anything on a turn, you can just take one random tile out of your bag, put it on here and bank it, and that's going to be worth 1 point at the end of the game. So it says that the youngest player starts first, and now what's nice about the tiles, so even if you have things like Z and X, it's not like they're worth more points, and it's not like it's a real incentive to use them, although it's nice if you can. But also, like if you look closely here, you see there's an E in the corner there with the Z, so that means on the flip side, this is an E. So you have two choices on how to use the letters. One other thing too is you have these tiles which are yellow, they're blank, so they can be used for anything. So that's a wild one, but you probably don't want to be using those too early in the game. Okay, so let's just say the yellow was going first, so they might go N, turn over the Z, and then S, and then a T. So I built the word nest. So the yellow player doesn't score any points for this at this time. They just have put that word down to start off the game. Currently, they own that word because they have all the letters in that word. They have the highest tile in that room because they're all at that level. So that's that, and then they'll draw 4 more tiles back. Now it's time for the red player to go, and so now they can then build onto that word. Okay, and so what red might do is they might go W-I-N-S. Oops, that's not an S. That's an S. Alright, so they have wins. So now red has this word, yellow has this word. Red did not nab this one from yellow because they didn't go higher. They didn't put anything on top of that word to claim it. So now they had an N. Could they have put N there? No. There's rules for putting these things down. So you can use the crossword mechanic to build out and horizontally and vertically off the crossword. And the nice thing too, like I said, is if they're you can spin these things around to face the player so that they don't have to read upside down if they find that difficult. There's some rules though in terms of the placement on things you can and cannot do. When putting on a stack, when you're stacking tiles, you can never stack on top of the same letter directly. So I couldn't put an N on top of the N. You can also not cover the word completely, and you cannot stack 2 letters on the same tile, so I couldn't put a letter there and another letter on top of that. You could never place more tiles in one row or column on the same turn, so I couldn't put one here and here, for example. It's one row or one column. There can only be one letter. So it explains it all in the rules, but then the idea is then that you're going to be building your words up here. So I mean, purple could do something so easy, just going like this, and they can put that there because now they're spelling wits and test, so that gets them both. They've now scored both of those words. They haven't scored it. They're now in control of both those words. But again, until the game ends, it's going to be this constant back and forth challenge as to who can put a letter in to take over a word and to claim it. So as long as you have the highest tile in the word, you've got it. So even though there's 3 red letters here, purple has the highest tile. They have wits. Same thing with test. They have both of them. So with simple placement of one tile, they've taken over 2 words. And that's not to say that they're going to hold it right till the end, but the other players are going to have to work to try and take it away from them. So then maybe green player goes, and green player is not feeling particularly creative, so then green just takes a tile, puts it on top of their bank tile, like so, and then that's kept there, and they will then score a point for that one at the end of the game. But remember, any tiles, they could just, any tiles that are banked aren't used otherwise, and they're not able to put anything onto the board. So it's not the best strategy to do all the time, but if you're looking at what you have in front of you and you don't see anything that you can do there, well then you always have that option of putting a tile on for banking. So play will continue around and around the board, every player adding to the crossword, adding words, adding things to their bank, and at the end of the game they score up and most points is the winner. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about Nab It, or you have any ideas for other games you might like to see on this channel, please leave me a message in the comment section below. If you have any ideas for content you might like to see on the channel, again, leave me a message in the comment section below. But until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher saying, thanks for coming to the classroom.
I Coming back to school with